Hello?
Hello, Mr. Galt.
Yeah.
Hi, you the urban landlord.
Right there.
Politicians and Wall Street and all that stuff, they do have a big influence over New York, but nobody's as influential as the landlords. People own these buildings.
Hell yeah.
They are gods. They tell you, when you can live. They tell you when you can breathe. They tell you where you can pee. I mean, they run, and New York is a conglomerate of properties.
Big buildings. Yeah.
And they got power. They control Wall Street. They really are gods.
Yeah.
And then developers come in, they got plenty of money, they got the banks, then they buy the politicians, they get the land, they do what they want to do.
All these rent control laws, all benefit the landlords. Yeah.
Montgomery talking about he gonna freeze rent. He better watch himself.
Yeah, if you worry about safety, I mean, I live in Southeast. I never had a problem. But I'm sorry, say that again?
You're a man, so that's different.
Well, there are women that live over here, so, that is the same. But, I guess on the whole, Northwest is probably safer than... Every now and then I'm going to start doing a few takes of these. I'm going to call them like outros, I guess you could call it that. And it'll be like takes of something to prove the point that I didn't get a chance to prove on this show. And so it'll be kind of a raw cut, and this will be the first take of the raw cut of an outro from a previous show. And here is something that I talked about quite a bit on the show earlier today. And so here is me on Freezy. I want you to take a listen to this.
In any race, all races of people aren't good people within that race. Like, you got some bad apples in blacks. You got some bad apples in white. You got some, the area that I live in, they're different. There are different nationalities in the area that I live in. But I would say it's predominantly white simply because of the...
And I don't need to know the answer. The point is that these are choices that black people are making to go live around white people. And for those of you that have listened long enough to Freezy, you've heard some of the rhetoric that he's had about white people, the Carmelo Anthony, this black woman that shot the man at Walmart. And I think Freezy goes on to say some interesting things. I want you to take a listen.
Percentage makeup in America by default, right? But
imagine if you could live around black.
I'm saying you're calling it white areas. I think most areas in America are going to be considered white simply because they make up the majority of percentage per capita in America. You know what I'm saying? So,
but there's a black area probably within 5 miles of you, correct?
Yeah.
And it's probably cheaper to live there than it is where you're living, correct?
Well, there's an urban area about 5 miles.
Urban area.
Miles close to me, right? Where
and it's cheaper. Somewhere within that urban area, and we're gonna call that a black area for the people that...
Can I tell you the truth, John? Yeah. In Florida, I wouldn't say it's cheaper. Like in Florida, Florida's kind of, I don't know how it works in other places, but in Florida, just in Florida, I live in the Disneyland area.
Okay, that's gonna be expensive, yeah.
Right, so even in that more predominant black area, it ain't gonna be too much difference because, like, even white people moving there. To your point, John, it's white people moving to what would be called a majority black area just because they're close to making.
And so what you just heard right there from Freezy was that, and you have to understand in real estate to understand what he's saying, is that white people are moving to majority black areas. What that is gentrification. To better explain gentrification to you is that gentrification, usually people are looking for undervalued assets. They're not looking for places to form families and live there. These are typically investors looking for underpriced assets to flip to other people that may be looking for places to root and nest and form families. So, of course, there are going to be shortcuts taken in that. I've explained that on the panel with my next door neighbor, the Ethiopian, that tried to do the flip. So what Freezy is saying is that the black neighborhoods are being gentrified by whites. But he's a level above in that, again, he lives in white neighborhoods. So his neighborhood, white neighborhoods, don't get gentrified because there are very few undervalued assets in white neighborhoods. White people are very productive relative to, say, black people. If you were to just look at a binary between blacks and whites, white people are very productive, so there are very few unproductive assets in their neighborhoods. Hence, no gentrification. In the black neighborhoods, they're very unproductive. They're not so productive with their assets. They can't maintain them. Hence, gentrification occurs. This is a hat tip to be brave, by the way. Anyway, so this is why Freezy lives in a white neighborhood and the whites are flooding to black neighborhoods, because that you could infer from that is that Freezy lives in a neighborhood that is a step above the black neighborhoods that are being gentrified. That means, he's doing well for himself. Great for him. But he should acknowledge that the benefit and the magnificence of the white people that not only have created these great neighborhoods, but have welcomed him in. And I think he's going to speak about that and how his relationships are in the neighborhood.
Disneyland area.
Okay, that's going to be expensive, yeah.
Right. So even in that more predominant black area, it ain't gonna be too much difference, because like even white people moving there. To your point, John, it's white people moving to what would be called a majority black area just because they're close to Mickey Mouse.
And maybe they can't afford anywhere else. Like
I'm gonna say this Freezy too. So right now I live in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
At first I lived in Miami-Dade, downtown by the arena and stuff.
And I already have the clip of this lady, but basically she's gonna say she lives in a building with all white people and their property taxes are lower. She moved from Miami-Dade to Broward County or something like that. Outside of Miami, she was living downtown by the arena. The crime was bad. It was wild, I think, as she said it, as she phrased it. And now she lives in a building where she's one of only a handful, 6 blacks in total, 6 blacks renting in her building among thousands of people. And she says it's wonderful. Again, this is John Galt exposing the big lie. And this is going to be a raw take, an outro from the previous stream that I did earlier tonight. Thank you for joining. I am John Galt, the Urban Landlord.
I was just saying, it's a lot of low-income people or people who fall on hard times and they have to find somewhere to go and they need somebody like you.